Hey guys, I'm James, and with me is John.
I'm John.
And we try to podcast every time. This is a special Halloween episode podcast bonus. We've been having some technical issues, so if we sound a little unhinged or confused, it's Sean's fault.
How's it my fault?
You want to record in the morning after work.
Wait, what would have been different? We would have just found this out later.
God damn it. uh well, for this special Halloween bonus episode, we're going to talk about some of our Halloween stories that we remember doing as little kids and talk about what next month's episode is going to be about. But before we get to that, I
As
just
little
want
kids?
to
One of mine I'm not a kid.
actually, one of mine, I'm not a kid either.
Okay.
Well, not a kid. I don't know. But before we get to the stories, I just want to make a apology to our fans and to John. Hocus Pocus 2 is not a 3 out of 3.
Oh, wow.
It's a 2 out of 3. John was right in the moment. Just because I thought it was better than Hocus Pocus 1 does not make it a 3. It is a 2 out of 3. I apologize to everyone out there. Because I should have had the integrity a reviewer should have, especially for a patent pending review system reviewer that I am. And to get some amends, I am going to actually give you some things that are 3 out of 3. 1, John Carpenter's The Thing. I've watched that recently. Really good. Really fucking gross too. Like, John, have you watched it?
No.
You should watch John Carpenter's The Thing. It's really good. Especially it being I think it was made in the 80s.
Yeah. Didn't they do a prequel to it recently? Or, like, more recently than you'd expect?
Yeah, I think in 2010. I might be wrong on that. I'm not entirely sure. Uh, but the practical effects, oh my god. Really, I'm like so interested to know how they did it. And one other 3 out of 3, I finally had Popeye's chicken sandwich. I got the spicy kind.
Yes.
I ate it with the pickles. I don't like pickles. It made me like pickles in that moment of eating it. So 3 out of 3. Fuck pickles, but it was good on the sandwich. I don't know how that works.
I loved that sandwich when it first came out. The one nearby to me, they're kinda slacking, though. Like, the last
Oh,
time I had it, it was kinda, like, disappointing. But yeah, when it's made right, it's very good.
I've never had it before, so I don't know if this was like a good one or if it, but it tasted good. It felt good. And it's been a long time since I had like a chicken sandwich
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it went down well. I think that's all the 3 out of 3 things I have experienced in
Oh
the
my gosh.
moment.
Oh, in the moment, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, like I'm sure if I can
I
reflect back on
I'm
life,
glad that you changed your rating, but I'm pretty sure Michelle wants you to watch Hocus Pocus 1 for the rest of your life until you realize that it's better than the second one.
me and Michelle may not be allowed to be friends.
I've never she when she was, listening to that episode, she was not happy. She was like no, she was like, "He's wrong."
Wow. I mean, look, it's fine. We all have differing opinions, and it's okay that she has the wrong one.
No, but you're in the minority, so clearly you're wrong.
No,
Almost
I
no one
feel
thinks what you think.
which makes me more right, I think.
No.
Yeah, I think that's how that works.
No.
Look,
I mean, I
well, no,
I fight
never mind.
hard when I'm in minority opinion, but obviously I'm not of your opinion, so I'm like, no, it's just terrible. It's a terrible take.
Well, for all of you who aren't in the know, you can go listen to episode 9, where we talked about and reviewed, well, I reviewed Hocus Pocus 1 and 2. But today we are going to talk about our Halloween stories. Do you want me to go first, or do you want to go first, Shawn?
Uh, you can go first. We'll
Sure.
take turns.
It's
Like you go one, I go one.
I don't think my stories are anything special.
Mine aren't either. I haven't really done that much for Halloween.
Yeah, I can't think of anything. Like, I don't think I did, like, Halloween Eve where you go and do mischief stuff. I I don't even remember, like, what I used to dress up as. Um, but
Oh, I do. I know I was Batman one year. I was a Power Ranger one year. Uh, I think like one of the last times I dressed up, I was Harry Potter.
wow.
Yeah. Well, one of the last time as a kid. Then there was like a huge chunk where I didn't do anything, and then I went to a Halloween party once where I did like some bullshit. But
I mean, the only thing that comes to mind is I had one of those scream masks, the ghost face.
yeah, I had that too. But I don't know if it was if I wore it or if like my brother wore it or something. I don't remember. Because they would just kind of so this is the way we would do it with my uncle. So I have two uncles that are like close in age to us too. They would just buy a few costumes and we would just pick from there. Like we wouldn't go to the store and like pick it. It was just like, here's the costumes for the year. You're all basically the same size. Pick one.
There you go. Okay. I told you one, but I just remembered another one. So, me and my friend Alex, who I have not seen since middle school, maybe? Actually, maybe elementary school. Anyway, we both got for one Halloween, we both got like the red double-sided lightsaber. I think we were both going as Darth Maul. But
Superior character to anyone in the third Star Wars. Go ahead.
okay. But what ended up happening was me and him, like a couple days before Halloween, we were like play sword fighting with the lightsabers, and I came down and he tried to like uh uh, block the me coming down on it, and it broke his lightsaber in half. And I just remember us being so like, oh fuck, because his mom, bought that for him. Uh we were both like he lived with his mom. They were divorced. Like his mom and father were divorced. So single mom situation. I, come from a single mom situation. And I was just like, oh, we fucked up. We fucked. Clearly not taking the blame on myself. Maybe I didn't have to come so hard down, but we were the Sith. Of course, you have to fight hard. And I don't even remember what happened. I think he hid it. He was able to hide it from her. And when Halloween finally came, he like just used one of them, or maybe he duct taped them. He probably duct taped them. That sounds about right. Uh but that was a fun time where I was terrified I was gonna get in trouble for having fun with my friend.
It's just weird the things kids are terrified about too, though. Like, what's the worst that could happen in that situation, really?
We get grounded.
I guess, but what why was that so bad? Like, I really look back on it, I'm like, it wasn't even that serious. And if you cooperated with, like, a grounding, it never lasted, like, a meaningful amount of time, you know what I mean? It was always, like, the harder you fought, the worse it was.
Mm. We also must have thought they were more expensive than they probably were because they were
Did you
lightsabers.
think
Of
you guys
course
were
they
gonna get
were.
hit?
I never got hit.
Oh,
I can't
wow.
speak for Alex. Alex, if you're out there, I don't know, say hi. Give us a 5 on iTunes. What are you doing, brother? Also, I hope you're okay. Like, fuck, I haven't seen you in a long time. Your brother was kind of an ass.
Is that your first story? Is that it?
Yeah.
I remember there was a year in Arizona when I went trick or treating with my friend Joey. And first off, we were trick or treating in like a well, we went through so much of that area, but we went to like a really like rich area. And they had like kind of like haunted houses. Like
Oh.
you would go to their front door and you could it took you through a path, like, it kinda, like, shrank you obviously, you didn't have access to the whole house, but it, like, took you through a path where it was, like, a haunted house, and then, like, along the path, there was, like, candy and stuff like that. Sounds like they're setting you up to, like, get kidnapped in there, but now that I'm saying it out loud, but it was
Yeah,
really nice,
actually.
and the candies were, like it was always, like, the king-sized candies, you know what I mean? Like, it was awesome. I don't know what the fuck we were thinking.
Oh no.
But we no, 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 it's not I mean, it's annoying, and it's like, "What the fuck, are you stupid?" But we kept trick or treating, and we did not stop until his father came to find us, and it was, like, past midnight, and he was like, "Who the fuck is even opening doors for you guys?" And then when like, we were so, like, in our own world that, like, when he said that, I was like, "These houses are pretty dark right now." Like, we just kept waking people up to get candy,
Oh
and I
man.
wasn't even it was, like, not even a thought in my mind.
Didn't they turn the porch lights off?
They did. We didn't care.
You're a dumbass.
We just kept walking up to every
You did
door and
not
getting
follow protocol.
no, we didn't follow protocol, but we got a shit ton of candy because they just started dumping the candy into our bag, you know what I mean? Like, holy shit, I never had so much candy. Like, it was like a scene out of a movie, like, where we had, like, a wagon of candy at the end of this.
Oh my god.
You could tell he wanted to hit us. Like, I think the only thing that stopped him was, like, "This isn't my son, otherwise, I'd be slapping the shit out of both of them right now."
Oh my god. Yeah. Man, the rich houses are the best. I'll just interject the one I told you like a week ago when we were figuring this out. Uh Me and a friend that I don't even remember the name of, we went to the rich houses, we did the lap, we came back, we swapped masks, and then did the houses all again, thinking, yeah, we fooled them. We got extra candy. There's no way we fooled them just by swapping masks. Like, people are not that stupid. And the candy was good.
Were th but I know it should be obvious, but, like, were they paying attention enough? Like, can you remember anyone being like, "Hmm," or were they just
I
handing out candy, not paying attention?
I do remember, like, oh fuck. I don't know if this is a memory or a false memory, but I'm remembering we went to one house, they gave out like these marshmallow popcorn balls the first time. And the second time they looked at us, grabbed a different bowl, and it was like the smaller candy. And so I think they may have realized. Should have just gave us the, nice candy. Why not? Fuck it. I miss those like candy balls.
I don't
Uh
even know what you're talking about.
so it's popcorn formed into the ball using marshmallow.
I don't think I've ever had that. Like, I really don't know what you're talking about. Popcorn formed in a ball.
I'm going to Google this really quick to make sure I didn't invent something. Because if I did, we're censoring this whole thing and we have a new business plan. Marshmallow popcorn balls. It's one of the options. Extra gooey marshmallow popcorn balls. These are the thing.
I believe you, I'm just saying I've never had one.
Yeah. All right. Maybe it was a New Jersey thing. I don't know. My next story, I was much older. I don't know if I was still in high school or just out of high school, but me and my cousin, who was living in Florida at the time, he was staying at my house. It was Christmas. Christmas. It was Halloween, and we were just staying home. And then I forget if it was me or him, but we were like, let's just go trick or treating. My cousin is like 2 or 3 years older than me. I think 2 years older than
Wait,
me.
how old were you at the time again?
I was either finishing up high school or just out of high school. So that would be like 17 to
How am I
18.
just hearing about this now? How did you
I
not
don't
like
know.
text, "Hey, you guys, I went trick or treating"?
I don't know. I believe that was the time frame. Maybe I was like,
So wait, so he was
even
like,
if I was 15, I still knew you then.
I was gonna say, so he was like 18 to 20, is what you're saying?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I should
So
know
how
my
wait,
family age better than
how did
this.
you get I don't know anyone's age, but how did you guys go, "Let's go trick or treating"? Like, how does that even come up?
Well, I mean, I think we were just talking, and then is like, I don't know, like we were like, I wish we had better candy. And then we were like, well, the other houses have a chance of better candy. So we literally ripped the pillows out of my pillowcase, out of the pillowcases. He went with nothing. I had this like wooden mask on my wall. I don't know if you remember this. I think it was like supposed to be in like some kind of Hawaiian, like I don't know, demon kind of fucking thing. But I just wrapped some like a cord around it, around the eyes, and it hung on my chest. But when we went to the doors, I held it up on my face. I think we only went to a couple houses. Because the first house we went to, neighbor house, right?
Mhm.
Knock on the door. We don't celebrate Halloween. We're like, what? What's your and what's the Jehovah Witness, I believe?
Yeah.
Where they don't celebrate a damn thing. That's what they told us. And I
Wait, so
remember
you asked
giving
them
them.
or they just said, "We don't
Yeah, I know.
celebrate
I
because
asked
we're"
like, what do you mean you don't celebrate Halloween? Like how it's
Yeah, but who
not
the
a
fuck are
religious
you? Not
holiday.
only are you too old to be trick or treating, but you're like ready to fight people at the door. Like, yo, what the fuck is this?
No, I was like flabbergasted. I'm like, first house, brick wall already. Like, what is this?
I would have just went home right there. I wouldn't even have gone to a second house. I'd be like, well, we tried.
No, the girl was just like, we're Jehovah Witnesses. I'm like, okay. And we walked away.
You don't remember? Like, that is how it is. Because our Arthel said like he didn't celebrate anything growing up either.
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't know that about him.
He said it multiple times.
I did not listen, I guess.
Yeah, I remember because I think it's like it comes around. It comes up when we're talking about like Christmas and stuff. And like I guess like there's been times where he hasn't gotten anything or there's been times where he wasn't like engaged in the conversation and I'd be like, yo, like, what's happening, whatever. And he was just like, I'm not used to like caring because I grew up Jehovah's Witness, so like we don't celebrate it. So I never got anything. But
Oh, okay.
I think now they do though.
Okay.
Pretty much once his little brother, I think that's what it was. Like his little brother got all the things.
Wow. Okay. Well, I'm glad I do a Christmas gift for you guys every now and again.
I appreciate it. It's always when I'm like, it's been since I've been a poor too, so it's good.
uh but we hit a couple houses and each time it was the same thing. Um aren't you too old for this? And we're like, yeah. I think my cousin got more shit because he didn't even try. At least I had like a stupid little mask thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Um and
Wait, wait, wait,
I'm
wait,
trying to
wait, wait.
remember if this was, like, before I met you or not. I don't know.
No, there's no
Maybe it was when
way.
I was younger.
Unless you totally got yeah, I was gonna say unless you totally got the timeline wrong.
Yeah, maybe I
Um,
got the time, but we were still, like,
no, you're not too I feel like
high
that's
school?
the yeah, but that's like the line. You know what I mean? Like, I don't
Ah,
know. I don't know. I wouldn't give shit to like a person who's like a teenager who's like doesn't even like you didn't look like an adult. You know what I mean?
yeah, maybe.
I don't know. I don't know. Question I have, were you doing the whole thing like knock, they open the door and you go trick or treat? Like were you doing that whole thing?
I definitely was. Because there's no way I wasn't. There's no way, like, what, am I gonna knock on the door, hold up a bag, and not
Yep.
say anything?
Yep.
No,
I
they're
mean,
gonna think I'm fucking
it seemed like your
robbing
cousin was
them.
just trying to intimidate. Yeah, that seemed like your cousin's whole thing.
Did you meet Nick?
No.
Did I tell you about Nick?
I don't think so.
Oh, because you got him down to a T.
I mean, I just figure anyone who's gonna go trick or treating without wearing a costume and they're not bringing like their little sibling or something has that vibe. Like that's just
Yeah, I guess that's my story.
okay. Um, another story I thought of. It's I wish I could remember the details because I remember it being fun but kind of weird trip, I guess. Because like when I was in high school, the way I was like, and I didn't like want to do anything. I just stayed home a lot, right? I had a friend from work. He was a little bit older than me, and we got along really well. He like at work, he was my best friend. You know what I mean? Like we just like were always hanging out, talking, whatever. And we hung out outside work. We weren't just work friends. And he's huge on like Halloween and just horror. Like he loves every horror movie. That's what we talked about the most when it came to like movies because he wasn't as interested in like really anything else. Like he just loves horror movies. Um, and at some point, he was like, because I wasn't as into it. He's like, man, like you're really not into like Halloween as much or whatever. I'm like, not really. And he said, have you ever gone to Halloween Horror Nights? I said, no. Why would I? And he's like, oh no, it's the best. And he started trying to sell it, and you could tell he's really into it. I'm still not sold because I'm like, I don't care about that. You know what I mean? I don't want to go to a haunted house and the thing is, I am gonna be scared because it's been so long, and it's like when you don't have like that exposure, it's easier for you to be
Mm.
scared. So I'm like, I don't like the feeling of being scared either. So it's not like I'm gonna enjoy it from that standpoint. Um, but he's just like, no, we're going this year. He just said it. We're going this year. And like, I think he was even like, I'll pay for your ticket. You know what I mean? Like, where I got it handled. You're just coming, just get the days off. I'm like,
Aw,
okay. He gets, I get the days off. We go with his girlfriend.
okay,
And I feel like that's kind of part of the weirdness, right? Is like it's me, him, and his girlfriend, and they're both older than me. So there was just
okay.
kind of like it was kind of weird in that way. She was super nice though. She was super nice.
Was this,
It's
like,
just
your first
I
time dealing with the girlfriend?
it's just the first time we were hanging out and it was a trip where we were going to be gone for a couple days. You know what I
Right,
mean? We hung out a lot more after that though, and it was fine. But like
right.
in that moment, it was kind of weird. Um, the
And,
trip alone was like I felt like it was longer than it was. Like I feel like we talked so much and like so much happened on that, but it was just the drive up to Orlando. Wait, what were you gonna ask? Or continue?
for people who may not know what Halloween what is it
Horror
called
Nights
again?
is?
Yeah, that's Disney's
Yeah. No, no,
Halloween thing.
it's not. Is it Disney?
Is it
Universal.
not Disney? Oh,
Isn't it
it's
Universal?
Universal.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm pretty
okay.
sure it's Universal. So, yeah, they take over the park and, make it all scary. And there's people walking around, actors looking all like zombies or whatever. And then there's a bunch of haunted houses. Um, yeah, that's Halloween Horror Nights. But when we got there, I was so much more scared than I could have ever imagined.
That's kind of hard for me to imagine, like you scared for some reason.
I it's not that I was, like, acting scared, so it's not like you necessarily I mean, you would have seen my hesitancy or something, but you would it's not like
Right.
I was, like, screaming or something, but my inside like, I was feeling sick, like, I was like, "Oh my
Oh,
god, this is" I it was fun because we just started walking up and, the actors are doing their thing, and I know they're actors, but I'm like, "Man, these are really good costumes." Like, the makeup is so good, I'm like, "Oh, fuck." And then I just was, like, honest, like, we were coming up to the first haunted house, and I was like, "Yo, I'm not gonna lie, I'm kinda freaking out right now." I don't even remember last time I've been to a haunted house, I remember not liking it, um, and they were like, "No, no, like, it's gonna be fun, don't worry," and we were talking loud enough where the line started becoming a part of the conversation, like, the people in front of us, behind us, and then it became, like, this group thing. They're like, "Look, if anything happens, we'll just fucking jump. We'll jump the people in there, we don't give a damn." And then it became a thing where everyone started holding hands. And
oh,
I'm not talking about my party, I'm talking about the people in front of me, behind me, like, it was a line of people, and we were just, like, running through holding hands.
oh, that's cute.
It was really fun, but it was scary, but once we got through that first one, I was already, like, desensitized, like, because now you know what to expect, you know what I mean? Like, the jump scares and shit like that. It's just, like, really the first time where, all the shit happens where I was, like, freaking out, but then the next ones were they were different, but it was more like, "Oh, this is cool," they did this, instead of just being freaked out. So, like, each one got progressively, like, less scary to me, and then, I mean, that's pretty much, like, the end of that story, but, like, I went another year with my family, and I don't know if you only need to do Halloween Horror Nights once or something, but I was like, literally, "This is lame." Like, I was like, "This is not
Oh
scary at all."
no.
Yeah, I was like, I had fun going with them and, my little sister and, like, doing for them what my friend and his girlfriend and the random strangers did for me, but I was not scared at all, you know what I mean? I was like, "Why was I so scared when I came the first time?" But, yeah, it was a good time. You should do it once. I feel like anyone who has access, like, if you live in Florida, you should do it once.
Hmm. I don't think I've ever done like a haunted house thing.
Then I feel like you might be scared for the first one.
Yeah.
Because again, it's the jump scares though, that's the thing. It's not like you're walking in I mean, it is creepy looking, but it's not like you're just literally scared. You know it's fake, but people jump out in your face and shit, and it's like,
Yeah,
God
yeah,
damn it.
yeah. Like I screamed watching a fucking YouTube video, so of people playing a horror game. Mortuary's Assistant. Have you heard that one?
No.
Okay, I may have to send you some videos later. Uh, First of all, it's gruesome, but whatever. Um,
Just don't punch anyone if you ever go to one.
that's a reference to episode 1. If you don't remember that, go listen to episode 1, Hell House LLC, and leave 5 stars on iTunes and Spotify.
You told me you've, like, picked up watching horror movies and you're, like, watching the things that, you were scared of, before, whatever.
Yeah.
Since you've been watching all these horror movies, do you have, like, a clear favorite now?
So I'm gonna say, mm, so the thing is, I've like watched all these movies like randomly throughout the years. Like last year, I watched The Exorcist for the first time. I've of course seen like Nightmare of Elm Street, Halloween, Jason movies.
Friday the 13th?
There we go. Thank you. Um, but it's kind of hard to like piece them all together because at some point you would just have to marathon them all at one time. Uh, if I had to, and this probably comes from reading certain books lately that had a lot of inspiration from this particular film, but I think Scream might be one of the best. One, it kind of being oh, one, it's like it kind of defined, not defined, but hmm, I am not in the right mindset for this, but it definitely like spelt out the rules to a horror movie, one of those serial killer type movies like Jason, blah blah blah, and
Yeah.
all those stuff. And not only that, there is something just a lot more real about that movie. Kind of because it is a lot more down to earth because it's not, Jason coming back to avenge his mother or Freddy Krueger killing people in
Yeah,
dreams.
but also the idea is supposed to be like that's the real world, and there's killers who are copying the things they seen in the movies.
Right. But also those scenes where the killer is chasing someone, it feels real. Like the person who the killer is like tripping over things.
They get hurt and
Like,
shit.
yeah, they get hurt. They're, you know, the way they're like trying to grab people, it's like frantic. And that is like the more like terrifying thing of it is it feels real.
And it also feels like they don't, I mean, not that all horror movies do this, but they don't play with their prey once the chase begins. Like the playing part is like the phone call, right? But once
Yes.
they're going for the kill every time.
Yes. Or something like Freddy Krueger or Jason, like the part of the fun is the chase.
Mhm.
And I just remember I've watched like the recent reboot and they're making another one which will probably be good because the reboot or whatever the fuck the term is. I don't think it's
Yeah,
reboot.
yeah.
It was a good movie. I enjoyed it. But also after watching it, I was like, wow, that's a nice way to like put a rubber stamp on this series. And then they're
Yeah, but
like, We're doing another one."
that's never gonna happen with successful franchise. Like, if you're a
I
successful franchise, why
guess.
would you ever make a final one? You know, like
Yeah, I don't know. It just felt like it was a good topper, like especially when you're doing something for like one of these movies, like so many horror films like tried to come back after like years of not doing something and it kind of fails m- a lot of the time or it doesn't feel or it doesn't hit the same or worst thing that can happen is like someone makes the movie and they didn't understood the originals.
yeah, I mean, but horror movies do this all the time, where they go away and they come back, and you're saying they fail, but they fail sometimes, but they succeed other times. Like Scream, for instance, was a success. Halloween, the new trilogy was a success. It's kind of fallen off as it's gone along, but
I heard so this comes from my friend who didn't like Hocus Pocus 2. She fucking hated the latest Halloween movie. She said
yeah,
it was terrible.
yeah, but that wasn't the first of like the new ones. You know what I mean? That's three in. The first one is
Right.
excellent, and the second one is I enjoyed it, and then this one was yeah, it's kind of weird. But
Okay.
that's just how horror movies go, like, in general. Even the original, um, Halloween movies, you think they're all good? You know what
Oh
I mean?
yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
I promise you they're not.
No, no, not at all.
So, it'll go away for a little while, and it'll come back again. They're always gonna revive those characters. They would have to just be consistently failing, and it's just, like, not making money for them to just be like, "Alright, that's a dead property," you know?
But I guess to answer your question was Scream, I guess would be my pick.
Mhm.
I'm trying to think if there's any other that like stands out to me
Nightmare on Elm
because
Street is still my favorite.
mm,
I love Scream. And Scream is probably the best franchise of all those because there's not really a bad Scream movie. Like, the worst one
no.
was probably what, the 3rd one?
Which one was the like the killer was the victim and they found out at the end and it's like
I think that's the 2nd to last one, but there's no way you think
okay.
that that's worse than the one where, like, the brother or some shit comes in. Like, that one was so ridiculous. I enjoyed it, it was still fun,
Oh.
but that was insane. Like, they were just doing whatever at that point.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's that also becomes that's kind of a trope for horror movies, I
Yeah,
think, you
yeah,
know?
yeah. But at least the one you're talking about where the killer was the victim is was like it was timely, right? Like social media was like
Yeah, yeah.
peaking and like, everyone wants the likes and the views and it's like she was still like she would be rather be known as the killer just to be known,
Yeah.
you know?
Well, I might have also saw that movie like a couple years after, and I may have been like just tired of people crying that social media is going to be the death of us and all that bullshit. Uh, like fuck it, I'll take my death. It's fine.
I mean, I don't think that's what the movie was arguing, right? Because just because of one that's one person who was like that, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
There's people who are
I
affected by things differently. There's some people who are like, she's already sick. For her to have the reaction she had, she's already sick,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I liked it more than, that one that we're talking about, that's the 4th one, um, more than people did when it came out, and I watched it again when the new one was gonna come out. I watched them all, and I thought it aged better than than I would have expected. The 3rd one for me was
Mm,
still, like, clearly, like, the low point. But it was still fun. The 3rd one's fun. Like, it's funny, there's still stuff to enjoy. But my point is, that's a consistent franchise. The other ones have so many peaks and valleys that it's like, it's tough. But
yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
Nightmare on Elm Street, just individual, like that first movie is one of my favorite horror movies. Or is my favorite horror movie for sure.
I need to rewatch that. Maybe I'll do that this weekend. Though I got a lot of horror movies to get through. Uh,
Oh my god, have you seen X?
X?
Mhm.
I don't think so.
Watch it. Don't look up anything about it. Just watch it.
Is it just
You're gonna. I think you're gonna.
X or
Yeah, it's
EX?
literally no, it's just X, the letter X. I think you're gonna have to maybe rent it or something or buy it. Like, I don't think
Did
it's
it
just
come
on a
out?
streaming platform.
When did it come out? This year?
This year. Came out this year, but it's not in theaters anymore. The prequel is in theaters. That's how I found. I did know about X, but it was just kind of like an afterthought. Then I heard about the prequel, which I didn't know initially, and when I was looking up more about it, found out it was a prequel to this movie. So I decided to go watch X first. Still haven't seen um the prequel. Maybe I want to do that in the next week because I can't imagine it's going to be in theaters for that much longer. They probably leave it in. Actually, they'll probably leave it in for like the Halloween
Yeah.
you know time, and then it'll probably be gone. But watch it. I want to know what you think. Like, there's stuff that's like, whatever, but like, I think they had an interesting idea. I don't want to say anything. I really don't want you to know anything since you haven't heard about it. Um, what I will say that's interesting to me about the prequel is that apparently, like, they pay homage to specific movies when he was making it. The first one is it pays a lot of homage to Texas Chainsaw Massacre,
Okay.
and then but the prequel, I'm thinking it's gonna be like another horror franchise or something, right? It's taking or it's paying homage to like the first like Technicolor films, like The Wizard of Oz,
Oh.
but it's still a horror movie. So I'm
Huh.
like, I yeah, that made me like really interested in it. And then apparently he's working on a sequel. So yeah, there was like the first one, a prequel, and then a sequel. I still want to watch the Chucky TV show. I keep forgetting about it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, let's go into what we're planning for our Halloweens this year. I'm I bought the 7 disc set of all the Chucky movies. I'm gonna try to watch the first 3 during this weekend. I also have a horror movie called Host, which I want to rewatch. I watched that last year. It was a horror movie that was made during the pandemic, so it's pretty much, but it's a horror movie during like a Zoom call, and that's kind of fun.
Mm.
And if anyone wanted to go watch a movie, I would suggest go watch that. John, go watch The Thing. Everyone else can watch Host.
That's probably all I'll be able to do if I do anything is just like watch something because I actually work not only Halloween but the day before and the day after. So, but I want to watch something. Maybe wait, what was the movie you just told me to watch? The Thing.
The
I'll
Thing,
finally
yeah.
watch The Thing, but maybe we'll finally watch the Chucky series as well. Definitely no trick or treating for me, and no party. Oh, that's another story. I think I've mentioned it briefly before, but that's how I met, or that's yeah, that was the first time I met Michelle was at a Halloween party.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I got dragged to it. Like, I had a friend who wanted me to go, and I was like, and then he was just like, he was pretty much like, just come. I was like, all right, and then he came to pick me up, and then I didn't have a costume because I wasn't planning to do anything for Halloween, so I had a jacket that was like that you could go like that, and then you zip it up all the way, and it has like a different look, and it was like a X-wing fighter pilot from Star
Oh,
Wars,
okay.
and then I had a T-shirt that was a Kylo Ren T-shirt. I was already wearing that, and then I put that on, and then when I was asked like, "What's that about?" I was like, I'm an X-wing fighter pilot that's secretly in love with Kylo Ren," and so that was my costume. And I told Michelle that, and she already had like a couple of drinks. She was like, in her own world. She was like, "What's this?" And then I tell her, and then she goes, "I don't get it," and then she walks away. That was my first interaction with Michelle.
Nice. Love that
it,
first sight.
but the way she said, "I don't get it," was more like, "That sounds stupid." That was like the tone.
Yeah, I got that the first time.
Oh, okay.
I took the 30th off for my job. So when I have like Halloween Eve into Halloween morning off. I kind of wish I probably don't have the time because I have to put in like job applications and shit like that. And also I need to fucking play some more Digimon Survive. I haven't played that in 2 weeks and I can't drop that. I'm not letting myself to drop that. um but I wanted to play one of the people who made Until Dawn, Man of Medan, the Quarry, Supermassive?
Yeah,
Yeah. I wanted to play one of their games. I bought I forget what it's called. It's like Hope's Ashes, or it was like the second one after Man of Medan.
I only ever played, what was the first one again?
Until Dawn.
Yeah, that I've only ever played that.
Little Hope. It's called Little Hope. I wanted to play that, even though I've heard it's not that great. The Quarry was really good. Um, if you and me can ever, be in the
Is that
same
their
room
newer one?
again. Yeah.
Okay.
If you and me can ever be in the same room again and play a game together, that would be my choice. It's really good, especially if you're coming off of Until Dawn. We should fucking plan a vacation. Said this before, I'm saying it on the podcast now to make it more real. You, me, Steve, Arthel, go rent a cabin in the woods, fucking play video games. Okay, that is a shrug of yes, James. Got it. Anyway, I want to thank everyone for listening. I hope you guys have a wonderful Halloween experience and a very great uh, treat for us would be if you go to iTunes, Spotify, and give us a 5-star review. Maybe also, write a review. Share us with your friends. That could be a treat to them. You can write comments on our YouTube videos, on our Instagram, TikToks, all those. We're on all those things. I haven't updated the TikTok in a while, but that's my bad. We're a bit more focused on Instagram for some reason. And there's also an email where you can email us. I should probably put that on my phone at some point. That was on my computer, which is in the shop right now. But if you email there, show ideas, just want to say hi, tell me I suck for messing up my own review scale. That's how it is, You can do that. You can do that. I think I lost the thread here, John. You got anything to say?
No, just have a good. Wait, when is this coming out?
I'm going to aim for the 30th.
All right, well, have a good Halloween.
Oh, we forgot something.
But
So November's episode, which should be coming out the 15th, as long as we don't have any problems, John. But the episode is gonna be about Boy Meets World. We found a way to watch some Boy Meets World. we're not doing an individual season. Instead, we are going to be watching the first episode, the last episode. Both me and John have picked an episode each that we remember from watching the show. And we also generated 2 randomly generated episodes with a little bit of finagling, but still. So I'm gonna go through the episodes. You can watch Boy Meets World on Disney Plus or wherever the hell you want to watch it. I'm not the law. But we are going to be watching season 1, episode 1, pilot. Season 1, episode 4, Cory's Alternative Friends, which is John's pick. Season 3, episode 13, New Friends and Old. Season 5, episode 17, and then there was Shawn, which is my pick. Season 7, episode 2, For Love and Apartments. And finally, season 7, episode 23, Brave New World. All of these will be in the description of the podcast. And if you want to watch those and follow along when we discuss these episodes and Boy Meets World as a whole, because Boy Meets World was a very important show to both me and John growing up.
Yes, it was.
I'm sorry. I thought I gave you a way to come in, but sure.
I mean,
I'm sorry.
it was definitely my favorite show growing up. I still love it. Like we mentioned it before at some point, right? Like that I watched all of it not that long ago. A lot of it still holds up, especially the earlier episodes. But it's just one of those shows. It's funny, life lessons for kids and whatnot.
It's a good sitcom. I remember watching it so much, but I guess we'll get more into that during that episode, hopefully. So, yeah. Feel like I should have been, before everything else, but that's just how this goes. We're figuring it out as we go. That's why it's called James and John try podcasting. For some reason I thought it was trying podcast. All right, you know what? Bye. We're done. Go away. Give us a 5-star
Well,
review.
well, actually, now I just realized I said have a good Halloween, but this will probably come out after they've already done their stuff because Halloween is on a Monday, so they're gonna do it the weekend. Oh well. I hope you had a good Halloween.